What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode on EI Entertainment Studios, back at it with another debate episode. Today's debate episode, we're going to be talking about Kong versus Shin Biollante. So here's the plan, folks. We're going to go over the backstories and characteristics, basically analyze both of these two giant kaijus, Kong and Shin Biollante, and once we're done with that, we're going to put them up against each other in a death battle. So without further ado, let's begin with the backstory of Kong. So, Kong, or known as the King of Skull Island, is a giant superspecies of ape that has grown to an immense size. From Kong Skull Island, where Kong was only an infant, he has fully grown, now making himself almost equal to Godzilla's height. Having super intelligent abilities and massive strength makes him a super threat to any Titan. Now, abilities, we're going to do a quick skim, and we'll come back to it, so do not worry. Quick skim of Kong's abilities: unmatched agility, super intelligence, able to jump anywhere, super fast, death punch, and finally, Godzilla dorsal plate X. Territorial level is maximum, aggression level is maximum. Biome is Earth, and height is approximately 102 meters tall. So we can see he is a little bit shorter than Godzilla, but yet again, 102 meters is incredibly massive. Okay, let's go back to the abilities and let's do an analysis. So first we have unmatched agility. As we've seen, the last film, Godzilla vs. Kong, Godzilla was the most agile from all the MonsterVerse films, but still unmatched. Kong is the most agile Titan of all the kaijus in the MonsterVerse, and just in general, he is the quickest and the most agile. He can jump from building to building, climb buildings, he can basically do almost anything, so he still wins the most agility, obviously. Now, super intelligence, he is a primate. He can reason with humans. He can actually speak to humans in sign language. He can plan attacks. He can basically he can think almost like a human, which makes him the smartest kaiju or titan of all time. After that, we have able to jump anywhere. That kind of matches or fills in the gap of unmatched agility. I kind of went over that. He can basically jump almost anywhere, which gives him great offensive and defensive abilities against his opponents. He is also super fast. He can run very, very fast, which is great for him in terms of defense and offense as well. Now, there's a special ability. He has a death punch. Basically, he has very, very powerful arms and muscles, biceps, and all that good stuff. And if he gets a right good hook on the opponent, he could potentially knock them out or even kill them if he's on the perfect spot of the head. So Kong does indeed have a death punch with this immense size. He can really knock his opponents out. And finally, he has the Godzilla dorsal plate axe, which is basically from his ancestors. It's an axe made of ancient Godzilla dorsal plates from the family line of legendary Godzilla, and basically anytime the atomic breath is shot into the axe, it's basically charged up and can basically use it against Godzilla or any other Titan, but it needs the atomic breath specifically of legendary Godzilla. Alright folks, that is going to sum up Kong. Let's move on into Shin Biollante. So, Shin Biollante came into existence when the coagulant that was sprayed into Shin Godzilla's mouth right before he froze, one of the small humanoids was able to fall off of the tail before all of them froze. From a long fall, the humanoid was bleeding and looked for a place to rest. It happened to come across a field of roses and thought that they could be food. The humanoid started eating all the roses, and his DNA mixed with all of the roses he had devoured, including the blood he spilled on the ones he didn't eat. The roses came alive and decapitated the humanoid and formed Shin Biollante. I've said this once, say it again, it's very, very gruesome. So this is basically the backstory came up for Shin Biollante. Now, the height of Shin Biollante is incredibly tall, approximately 252 meters tall. Abilities, we'll do a quick skim. Spiked atomic laser, 10,000 tentacles, tentacle poison laser, regeneration, instant adaptation, false heart trap. Territorial level is indeed high. Aggression is low. Biome is unlimited, and we'll go over that in the ability section. So let's go back to the abilities and let's do a deep analysis of each ability and see what these even are and what we're dealing with. Now, before I do go, I will have a disclaimer. If you are a returning viewer, you definitely know that I've used Shin Biollante before, and these abilities are basically the same by name, but some of their functionality I might have updated. So if you see a bit difference, don't be surprised. It's not a mistake, it's just that I've updated it, so that's my disclaimer. So let's go back into the abilities. So Spiked Atomic Laser is a very powerful laser, if not one of the most powerful atomic lasers out there. So remember, this is a rose with Shin DNA coming alive. Imagine Shin Godzilla's laser combined with giant thorns from roses inside of the laser. So not only is the laser getting shot at and ripping up the flesh, giant sharp thorns are also in the laser, also ripping up the flesh. So it's a double, it's a combo, and it's very, very powerful and very gruesome and very bloody for the opponents, right? So that's a spiked atomic laser, and it's all over the body of Shin Biollante. Next, we have the tentacles. A regular Biollante only has 4, or approximately 4 tentacles. This Shin Biollante is an evolved version and has 10,000 of those tentacles. And those tentacles actually have teeth and tongues and all that good stuff. So they could actually bite as well. Not only the head of Biollante, which is thousands and thousands of rows of teeth. Now, not only does she have those lasers, or not only the lasers, but the tentacles, she also has a tentacle poisoned laser. So every tentacle can actually shoot a laser, and these lasers can actually numb the opponent to not feeling any pain. And what that does is the opponent no longer goes into defensive mode because it doesn't know if it's getting hit. And that's very deadly because it could literally just fight till it dies. And just Kong could have his arm cut open and not even know and continue fighting. And that could eventually kill him from over blood flow. So that's a potential example. So it's very, very powerful. Next we have regeneration. Shin Biollante can regenerate at very, very fast levels. She can also do instant adaptation. This comes from Shin Godzilla's evolutionary process from Form 1 to Form 2 to Form 3 to Form 4 based on sight, hearing, and the atmosphere of the area. So she can instantly adapt to fit the situation of the ability. And finally, she has the false heart trap. That big red bulge is known to be Biollante's, like the original Biollante's heart, where in this case, this one, it's a false heart trap, and basically it's a mirror blast, and anything that's thrown or hit onto that mirror, the false heart, it gets mirrored right back at the opponent. If it's punched, the punch gets sent right back to the opponent. Atomic breath gets sent right back. Very, very powerful. Okay, folks. And by the way, you guys may ask, where's the brain? Or excuse me, not the brain. Where's the heart? If that's not the actual heart, the heart is right next to the brain. Okay, so this is going to sum up both of these kaijus. Now, we're gonna go into the actual part, the death battle. So we're gonna go close range and far range. We do far range because it tests out the abilities of these opponents when they're limited. Some abilities will not be available, and we're trying to see if these opponents can still win a fight. So it's a very powerful way of reviewing them and seeing them. And the other one is close range all-out battle. So that is also a great way to do it. So we're going to start off with far range. Here's the rules. They have to be 700 meters apart. Cannot come closer. Right? No touching. No physical touching here. So 700 meters apart. So, let's see what abilities Kong can or cannot use in terms of far range. So, unmatched agility, that's defensive for far range, cannot touch the opponent. Super intelligence, doesn't matter. Able to jump anywhere as long as he is not physically touching the opponent, he could do that. So, these are all so far defensive abilities. Super fast, defensive abilities. Death Punch cannot be used because it is a physical ability. It must be touching the opponent to get that in. And we are 700 meters apart. There is no physical touch here, so that is invalid. Godzilla Dorsal Plate Axe, he can potentially use that one. He can potentially use that one, and we'll explain if he can or cannot in more details in the actual battle. Now, let's go to Shin Biollante. Let's see what she can and cannot use in terms of far range. Spiked Atomic Laser. Yes, it's made to go far distances. The laser will work. 10,000 tentacles, not really. They're not going to stretch 700 meters, although they could be used as a defensive mechanism to cover her up, but not offensive. Tentacle Poison Laser, no, those will not travel far. Regeneration, sure. It's defensive. Instant Adaptation, sure. False Heart Trap will also not work. So, personally, I see Shin Biollante being the first one to make the attack, because from watching Godzilla vs. Kong, just in general, Kong is more of a mellow creature. As long as he's not threatened, he's not going to fight. And so I believe Shin Biollante is going to fight, or I should say start the fight. And she is obviously going to use this spiked atomic laser. And that is going to do a lot of damage to Kong, if not almost the point of fatality, because Kong's skin is not like Godzilla. It's not thick reptilian skin. It's basically almost like human skin. It's very thick, but again, it's just pure flesh and bones. So there's not really a big defensive mechanism over his body. So the spiked atomic laser with the thorns in there is going to rip up the flesh of Kong. And so the only thing Kong could actually use here in reality is the dorsal plate, right? Because he doesn't have a specific ability that he can use to, like a supernatural or like an atomic laser. He doesn't have that stuff. He doesn't have that accommodations with him. So he's going to be able to use, or he's going to try to use the dorsal plate axe, and this is not going to work, and let me explain why. The dorsal plate axe only actually works through its charging ability if it's legendary Godzilla's dorsal plate. Now, if Shin Biollante were to use that, or Shin Biollante were to use her spiked atomic laser, that's actually not going to do anything to the dorsal plate, because it's not from legendary Godzilla, and therefore the dorsal plate on the axe is not going to recharge or absorb anything, so therefore it's deemed useless for the plate. So really, everything in this case is useless for Kong, and Kong is basically gonna die because he has really no defensive abilities in this case. The spiked atomic lasers all over the body. It's thousands and thousands of lasers just getting shot in every direction. One or two of them minimally is guaranteed to catch him. So basically, he is doomed. Shin Biollante will win this one. In terms of far range, 1-0. Alright? Now, that was a quick one because Kong just did not stand a chance. Let's go to close range, where it could be a bit of a different outcome, possibly. We'll see. So let's take this into consideration. Shin Biollante has the upper hand in almost every circumstance of strength and size. He is, or I should say she is, 252 meters tall, where Kong is 102 meters tall. So it's a big difference. There's a really big difference here. And Kong, the only way Kong is gonna shine here is by running around, not staying still, and trying to get some type of debris, some type of material to start hitting Kong, or excuse me, start hitting Shin Biollante. And I think the biggest win here for Kong is not just debris, but he's gonna have the axe, and he has to go running around trying to evade the tentacles and start, or try to cut them up with the axe. That's the only way he can get into it. But yet again, even that's kind of useless because remember, Shin DNA is prone to evolutionary traits and super fast regeneration. So with the Shin DNA in Shin Biollante, when those tentacles are actually cut off, she can evolve to grow even more. So all that cutting is actually useless. And even to say if you were to do that, eventually Kong, when he is trying to attack Shin Biollante, is going to get caught by those tentacles, and those tentacles are 10,000 tentacles, right? We're not even gonna get to the false heart trap and all that stuff because those tentacles will rip apart Kong. Because how much is he gonna cut? Over 10,000, 10, 20? At one point, they're all going to just crush Kong to pieces. He won't even get to the body because the body is so big. The tentacles are so long. It's inevitable to get caught by them. He is going to get caught by them, and he's not going to make it to the body. And the tentacles are absolutely going to shred Kong to pieces. So therefore, I see 2-0 for Shin Biollante. Obviously, you could debate me in the comment section below if you have a different opinion. This is just my opinion, but I see 2-0 for Shin Biollante. Anyways, folks, this is going to conclude the video. As I said, 2-0 for Shin Biollante. If you did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing. It means a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a wonderful